probably just like to love me, okay? Fresco Law, and she does entertainment law. And then we have Tavar Smith, who is, Tavar Smith, who was the organizer of the SMEC conference that was on the coast of the USM campus. Mr. Carl Washington, who is an entertainment attorney, originally from Atlanta. And then
we have Willie Beamon from First Day Fresh. And we have two players. A rap duo is Big Sight, he's from Mississippi, and Red Coat the Poet, who is originally from Georgia. And we're going to give them an opportunity to tell a little bit about themselves.
Start with me.
Start with you.
All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Kamikaze. As they said, I'm president of Hourglass Media Group. We manage Dear Silas, and I am also the founder and executive director of Jackson Indie Music Week, celebrating year number 5 as we speak. Thank y'all for being here.
My name is Caitlin Bailey. I am with Fresco Entertainment Law. We work in the entertainment area with new and upcoming artists, as well as some more established artists across the country. And like I said, specializing in entertainment and also intellectual property.
My name is Tavar Smith. As they mentioned, I'm the co-founder of the Southern Mississippi Entertainment Conference, but then also day-to-day I work at The Orchard, which is a distribution company owned by Sony Music.
I'm Carl Washington. I am an entertainment attorney in Atlanta, born and raised in Atlanta. Actually went to school here in Mississippi at Mississippi College School of Law. I know Mr. Frescona very well from back in the day. He and Mr. Heather, Professor Heatherton, I should say, taught me at Mississippi College School of Law. I represent primarily music. I don't do film, television for the most part. I'm a music guy. Always has been, always will be. But looking to delve into film and TV a little bit more, because in Atlanta the scene is turning more towards film and television more than the music from a financial standpoint.
Yeah, I'm Willie Buchanan. Everybody knows me as Willie Beamon, creator and owner of FirstDayFresh.com. Do public relations for a slew of artists, and former manager of Vitamin C, one of the bigger artists in the state.
Well, I'm Big Son. I'm a rapper from Meridian, Mississippi. I was born in Jackson. You may have heard me on a lot of Big Crit songs. Presently, I'm doing this 2-player thing with my guy right here, Red Coat the Poet, and I'm having a lot of fun.
I'm Red Coat the Poet, originally from Georgia. Pretty much been an indie musician my whole life, you know what I'm saying, as far as, hip hop, did collaborations, did some stuff with Killer Mike, and just a slew of other artists doing this two-player thing. So, we here.
Okay, thank y'all so much for those introductions. We're going to jump right into the questions. So with independent music on the rise, and this being Jackson Indie Music Week, do you guys think that it's important or necessary for artists to seek a record deal or jump into like record label?
Anybody?
Well, I personally, from my perspective, I would say that it depends on the artist themselves. Like, not every artist is going to have the same needs. So, like, I'd say that if the financial burden is on you and you see yourself making progress, from my perspective, I would say not to rush into a deal unless it's the correct situation and partnership for you.
Yeah, I definitely, I think as far as it being like 2020, you know what I'm saying, it's just so much information out here. You pretty much, it's so much do-it-yourself information out here. So to me, it's really about what makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. if you got your own production company, if you're writing your own music, and you're pretty much doing everything, and you just need distribution, then you may just need a distribution deal. You know what I'm saying? If you need, so it really just depends, So, I would say, depending on your situation, whether you need a label or maybe you need like a maybe you need to partner up with, management, public relations or something like that.
Like I said, it really depends on the individual artist's needs. I mean, if you, like you said, if you need distribution or if you need licensing solicitation, those are so many different individual components that you can do on your own, or, you know, hire individual companies to do. Whenever you sign to a label, you lose so much of your own rights. You know, at that point, if you don't already own a trademark or copyrights for your song, that's the first thing they're going to do is file the copyrights for your songs and file the trademark for your performer name. And so that's something that they will own at that point. And then if you break away from it at any time, you'll have to pay them a fee to act on your own, whether it's under another label or to go back to being independent. So it's really case by case. It's really based on what each individual artist needs, and you have the ability to kind of call the shots more so yourself, operating as an indie artist opposed to signing with a major label.
Well, my first thought whenever I hear that question is that people would be absolutely insane to try to get a record deal in 2020. But I think it kind of falls more along the lines of what everybody said. Some people do have different needs and different desires. If your desire is to be famous or to be seen, or if you're not someone who is used to doing things yourself, and you kind of want to kind of live that, you know, signed artist, major label type of lifestyle, then you might be pursuing that angle. But, you know, all of the avenues that we've seen here in modern times kind of leads to people being independent. If you are doing the music yourself, if you are financing yourself, if you are paying for your own studio time, if you're putting your music out and marketing it yourself, and you're actually able to sustain yourself in that manner, it would be ridiculous for you to do all of that work and then hand it over to someone else for them to give you pennies on the dollar for what your work is. Your worth is. Case in point, you know, what we did with Dear Silas, when we went to RCA reached out to us and we went to the table. We went to the table with negotiating power and with bargaining power, because we had already put out a record independently ourselves that charted on iTunes. We were already doing tours on our own. We were already selling merch. He was already streaming at a very high number already. So we went to the table with bargaining power, and we didn't go saying that we want a record deal. We went to the table saying that if you would like to be, not even saying we want a partner, we said if you want to partner with us, then this is what is required for you guys to partner with us. And even outside of that particular situation, we still had a wherewithal to move around and do freely what we want to do. And I think that's the only instance where, you know, you should really be kind of trying to reach out to major labels just in some type of partnership role.
I mean, I will say that, like, if you do decide to go the independent route, you do have to keep in mind that, like, everything you're doing from top to bottom is, like, it's on you, right? Just working in, like, the distribution space, I'm working with a lot of independent labels, and, like, they never had to have an accountant until they started a label. So, like, think about those types of things when you decide that you want to go the independent route. You're going to have to hire an accountant. You're going to have to hire a finance team. You're going to have to hire an attorney. You need people to clear the samples for you now. Like, the label's not going to do that kind of stuff. So, like, it's not as easy as, you know, you just put the music out and you make the money. Like, you're going to have a team, and you're going to have to hire out for everything that the label would do. So really think about, like, do you really want to just do music and hand it over to them and have them do the other 80% of the work or whatever it is that they're going to do, versus you're doing the 80 and somebody else is doing the 20.
And I think, like, just kind of piggybacking off what Bruh said is, so if you're in a situation where you feel like, okay, I don't have an accountant, you know what I'm saying, I do kind of need a label, like, at least, like what Kamikaze is saying, at least put yourself in a situation where you have some type of bargaining. You know, your following, you know what I'm saying? If you can chart on iTunes, at least try to hit some of those metrics so you won't go into the meeting with a label with no bargaining power, with nothing.
So for me, it gets down to something very simple. Teamwork. Like, the majority of the people that I represent, they have teams. And what I mean by that is that there are specific teammates that you need in order to run an independent race. And there are a couple of other things that you need that to make that race successful. I have clients over at the Orchard. We do okay with them, but they're mostly older artists. But you kids now have an opportunity for advancement in uncharted waters to function on the independent side. Now, I will flip the script and ask you, why do you need a major label? See, most artists, they get it all twisted because they don't really understand the end game. And if you understand the end game, then everything makes sense to you. Like right now, you know about streaming and downloads. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, there was no such thing. So the record labels had to figure out, how do we monetize internet access, which is really just access. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't need a label now. That's what they're telling you. Labels are now making more money than they've ever made before in the history of the music game. So why wouldn't they want to go and get two-player if they're popping and say, let's do business together? Because they need you just like you need them. In order for you to understand, you got to know what the end game is. And ultimately, the end game is threefold, in my opinion. Number one, to make money. Number two, to make money. Number three, to make money. And if you're doing it for any other reason, you're in the wrong business, because the passion that it takes is not enough. It takes way more than passion. It takes a whole lot of work. I've watched Brad them pull their thing off with Dear Silence, and I've watched other artists come from nowhere and make a gang of money. But it was a lot of stuff involved. Now, so outside of the money aspect of it, what most artists miss out on is they don't have a hit record. If you've got a hit record, then you can do whatever you want to do in the music game. Without that, you're at their mercy. You're at the label's mercy. You're going to go into their offices and they're going to throw a deal at you, and it's not going to make sense. But let me give you some good advice. An old lawyer told me when I first started practicing law, he said, the key to the entire process is to blow up and renegotiate. So I've done some bad deals. Not me personally, but I'm saying people have done bad deals. But when you have hit records, then you can go back in and renegotiate, because now the tables have turned. So let me tell you a quick story, and I'll pass the mic, and I don't mean to take up all the time. So think of these terms. I'm going to take you all the way back, because you guys are kind of young, but I'm going to tell you about Stevie Wonder, okay? So Stevie Wonder was a young kid on Motown, and Stevie Wonder and Barry Gordy were great friends. So you know Stevie probably signed to Motown, he was 14, 15 years old. So at some point in time, as Stevie Wonder grew, right? Like, imagine this. So Motown's at 10, Stevie's at 1. But as Stevie's success started to grow and grow and grow, the tables started to turn, right? Right? So now Motown needs Stevie more than Stevie needs Motown. That makes sense, right? Why did Motown need Stevie more than Stevie need Motown?
Because Stevie made all the hits.
Okay, so it gets down to something very, very simple. And the same thing applies to where we are in 2020. If you can create that thing that all you guys are seeking, if you create that success story, and there aren't that many, unfortunately. I'm telling you now, you know, you can make a great living in the music game, but be honest with yourselves, because most artists make the majority of their money off live performances, off touring. Not necessarily off record sales, not necessarily off streaming and downloads, because you got to think about it. How many downloads or streams does it take to equal one album sale? Anybody got the answer to that question?
Depends on which service.
Well, we're speaking in general. He knows, he works at Archer. How many streams and downloads does it take to account for one album sale?
It's 1,500 streams of an album equals one album sale.
That's real. What, you want to quit now?
And then honestly, I think they've even broken it down a bit more to where it's like subscribe, paid album, paid streams versus like free tier streams.
See, he's talking like a record company guy. See, that's how they get you. You see? That's how so the whole thing is really simple. Like, you have to understand what he's saying. Like, he just threw 8 more algebraic characters and blanks and X and Y's into the equation to fool you so they can keep more of your bread. Right? So if you understand that concept, just stay focused on one thing and one thing only. You know, build your brand and make sure that you understand what your end game is, because then you can get to where you want with or without being a signed to a major label. It can be done.
Okay, next question. You all spoke a lot about the importance of teams and having a solid foundation. So what would be something essential that you'll tell any of the indie artists who are in the audience, or those who might hear this via Instagram, whatever? What are some things that are essential to have in your foundation as an indie artist to be able to be successful? I know you said money, but is there anything else?
Well, money is very important.